This is sort of an introduction to what, in Magic terms, we would call it Reanimator. This is a sort of sliding scale of a evil and sage deck that seems to be somewhere between a very aggressive style, but also have a good, healthy backup plan. Now, one of the cards I can definitely say that you'll see in most of them is this Knight of Alara. The big thing here is that it has Blitz built on. And obviously, basically this thing doesn't die in combat unless it has a champion that gets a big boost, or or gets blocked by four other champions. So that's just not gonna happen. That's only a 2 count. Now let's start at the very beginning of the list. Apocalypse, it's a clear sweeper, nothing too fancy. We may see from some of the other lists we have Army of the Apocalypse. This is a very integral card for Plan B. Basically, if Plan A of stomping them down with the first wave doesn't work, this will come up. Drain Essence. The biggest thing here is that you're getting the 9 health back, and when you're racing, this sometimes is better than just break or banish a champion, because you can aim this at, well, anything you can aim it at, and the 9 health back is often all you need to keep going. Here I only have one final task. You can have more if needed. Apparently, people in Arena are looking for games. So it can be cycled out for 2 cards. Put a champion from any discard into play under your control. It gains Blitz. If you run into, say, someone has like a Angel of Death or whatever, something you can trigger, you might do that. But here also you can just bring back some of the ones you need. Usually it's more just for stealing their guys, like if they had a Kong, or if your health is high enough, you can take their Kark, something like that. That's why it's only one of. It's not the main plan. Army of the Apocalypse is. Plague is a backup to Apocalypse. It's a board clearer. Here we have, it's the big part here, if you saw our one on the Wild and Evil deck, it has both Blitz and Ambush, and it's unbreakable. I have it whittled down to a single one, mostly just because it's there just to kind of do just about anything. It rounds everything out. Winged Death as a one of, it comes in, it does its job, we move on from there. Zombie Apocalypse, more so than the Blitz deck, this very much is all about putting down a lot of guys and getting a second wave, and then after that you can have another wave, so it's just another sweeper. You'll be familiar seeing there's Dark Knight again, Ambush, Blitz. Blitz is the big part here. Guilt Demon, the ability to keep their discard piles down so that you can keep them in check. It's a backup. Wither, mostly because you'll see tokens all over the place and it's a 0 cost. You'll be seeing a lot of the same cards, because when the original base set came out, a lot of these things just did things right. Ancient Chant as a 2 of. One of the interesting parts here is if you see that this gets recycled or your discard gets banished, you'll still get the card draw off of this. So it's very useful, but it's not the primary concern of this deck. Because we're already in Sage far enough, getting cards is pretty easy. Crystal Golem. If you see Crystal Golem and Evil cards in the same deck, there's a high chance it's near this Reanimation style, because one, it has Ambush, it's untargetable. What that means is, let's say you're being attacked by a Raging T-Rex, you can hit this in with Ambush, block, before damage is dealt, break this card to get 2 cards back. So you're effectively stalling out, but it also, when it comes back off Army of the Apocalypse, sack it again, get 2 cards after an attack, that sort of stuff. Djinn of Sands could easily be replaced, but here it comes in as 8 power and Blitz off from the front. I need to note that the tribute part here of putting the 3 extra counters to make it the 8/8 will not work off Army of the Apocalypse. It would work off of Final Task, but so that's why it's cut down to 2. But it is a nice hasty flyer, Blitz rather. Don't be afraid if it looks like you're grinding a game out to put this down and remove a card just to draw right away. It's usable. Erase is one of the better Sage cards. I gotta turn off the notification for that. Erase is one of the better cards. If they pay their gold on their turn and put down a champion that's just going to sit there, say even a Raging T-Rex, remove it and get 2 cards back for it. It's very good at putting you actually ahead in position. If they have like only one possible blocker, it's a good way to deal Juggernaut. Speaking of, There is Juggernaut. This card I didn't think was going to be as good as it was, but it's in so many decks you'll see in the current metagame as of March 2020 in Constructed. You will see Juggernaut quite a lot. Whether or not you trigger loyalty, don't worry about that. That's icing on the cake. 9/3 Blitz, Breakthrough, Unbreakable on your turn. It's going to punch. It's going to do some damage. We showed Knight of Alara at the beginning. 10/8 Blitz, pretty good. Sea Titan. So obviously it won't. Its tribute of returning a creature hand will not trigger if it's coming in off Arm of the Apocalypse. However, it's still an 11/14 untargetable, and with so much of the removal, you can make someone have to use a board clearing effect with just that card alone. Steel Golem comes in, it's untargetable. If it comes in off the army, you don't get the loyalty option of Blitz. But on an open board or on a board that they don't want to lose one of their primary defenders, or if you start to trickle out and clear them, this thing can easily come in. I have had it hit quite a few times. Here we go. Time Walker. The only reason that these are still in the deck, because this was a build that has been modified from the original days. The only reason this is still in is the ability to bounce all those tokens, making those things go away, and token strategies are pretty big, but also off that final task. Final task will trigger the loyalty, so you can, on their turn, if need be, still clear the board. So it has some tactical use. Amnesia, we're running a discard operating deck, and we want to make sure they don't get the same thing. Here, Haste, Force Mage Apprentice. In most of the Sage decks, if they don't have a better slot, you really should have these. Clearing out Spore Beast, clearing out Muse, clearing out a lot. There's quite a few 2 toughness flyers. There are quite a few number of utility creatures that you can shoot, and the fact that you can prepare this off playing the cards, because there are many tactics. So if they put down a 4 toughness, put this down first, tap 2 damage to a target, play your Sage card, untap this, 2 damage to the target, and then go into attack. If you did that with a blitzy Steel Golem or Juggernaut, you cleared the way for way more damage. 2 Hasty Retreat, more so than anything else, just being able to keep them off their tempo, especially with how many of your guys have Blitz. If they spent the gold first, sending that 1 gold champion back to the hand means you won't have to deal with it again unless it has ambush in the same turn cycle. And in a deck full of so much Blitz, you can already have them gone by then. And one of the last telltale signs you're seeing these decks, the Warrior Golem. This seems to be standard inclusion. It having Blitz is part of it, but it being a free 4/2, so usually it trades up. That term usually means it can trade with creatures, or champions rather, that have 4 toughness. It can trade with a demon token, but how many other 4 toughness bodies are out there that don't really want to trade with a Warrior Golem? However, it getting Blitz and running into a token is very common. Important to see here, when this goes into your discard pile from anywhere, meaning if they make you discard it, if it dies from play for whatever reason, if you discard it because your hand size is too big, you get a chance to recycle. Now, when you are recycling, I want to emphasize this because the deck doesn't have too many recycle cards. It has this and it has Plague. Try to recycle your spells. In the cards that I've shown so far, I'm going to keep scrolling up to kind of review the list. There is no way for you to recycle events unless they're running some sort of Necromancer where you're worried about them stealing your deck. I'll try and bring him up because he can bring it in from their discard. Unless you're worried about them stealing your creatures, you should recycle your events first, because you want the champions rather, in the discard pile, so that this Army of Apocalypse triggers off. This is a very straightforward deck. I'm going to play it against the CPU real quick. You're going to see that it usually has enough gas and a good plan B. I'll even give the opponent, make sure that they have, this one I know has Apocalypse. Does this one should have, yeah, Amnesia and a lot of other tricks. Actually, yeah, it's a little bit annoying. We'll get that played against the CPU here. So pick your deck. Let's go with Reanimator. Pick their deck. Actually, let's be a little entertaining. Let's put on one that was just built. It's not perfect, but it's got a lot of big beats. So we'll see how that goes. When you're looking at your mulligans, this is actually very excellent. You look at, I have 3 units with Blitz, I have 1 answer, and right here with the zombie apocalypse, that can be traded off, or I have a good chance of that actually kicking. I'm going to keep that actually for its draw effect, and I'll feel like losing life for 1 card that is serviceable. So they're going to go first. Ooh, they shipped 4. That's... Now, when you start seeing the Misguided Herald, don't be surprised if things get out of hand quickly. So you see what they're showing us. This can get bad very, very quickly. And I'll definitely do a one for this Dragons deck, because, I mean, you can see right here, this is their turn, and it's just like, ooh, this is all going to hurt pretty good. So they're coming in for 6. I could bounce it. I could block it. I don't really have good answers. That's the short version. I don't have good answers. So I'm actually going to send it back to their hand. Reason being that they've spent the gold already, and I don't want to take another 6. Now, I'll take 5. They come with loyalty, everything else, but this is leaving me a small opening. Now, going into my turn, you saw that they have capability. I probably am going to get 2 cards out of this to try and find more business, because I'll show you how stacking these attacks works. So for starters, they do have some ambushers that we need to be aware of. I'm going to start my turn. Going to drop down this Dark Knight, attack with the Dark Knight. I'm going to actually show you some of these really fun tricks. Strafing Dragon, probably comes in. Yep, shoots me. Okay, didn't feel good. Go declare blockers. Oh no, they blocked my guy. Oh no. Guilt Demon. I don't have anything I want to have out of it, so I'm going to skip. I'm going to send this in. They probably will trade with the Herald. We will see. They fired off an Amnesia. Sure. There wasn't really anything you had to worry about in there, but that's okay. Sign damage. They took it. Okay. One of the tricks you can do, excuse me, is to do this. Here comes my Time Walker. I'm going to bounce the board. Now, they've spent their gold. I still have more attacks because I have hasty, free bodies. I'm just going to get it out of there just because. So we got them down to 15. They're taking their turn. Okay, they're gonna the Pyrosaur is gonna hurt if they choose the Pyrosaur, which is a dragon. It's a dinosaur dragon, so you know that's why it's in the deck. That deck is just dragons. And accept. Here comes Draka's Enforcer. Are they gonna draw a card? They're gonna draw a card. Now, all that said and done, I don't know, because they could have come down and they could have shot the knight, you know, because it's not unbreakable on their turn. So I mean, like, they have defenders, but I'm not too scared of their stuff. We still have our gold end of their turn. They have not shown us any reason that we should doubt that they have a board wipe. The only thing that would really wreck me right now is a Wave of Transformation. So I'm going to try to bait them out with all these fun things. So let's give him Blitz. First one coming in. Literally, I don't care if he's blocked, not blocked, whatever. Here it comes. Here it comes. Who are they going to shoot? All right, they shot my flyer because I have an untargetable. That's fine by me. Block him. I don't care if your guy survives. I'm going to try and absolutely curb stomp you. I'm going to come in. Actually, I'm going to come in here. I will show you why. It does not matter. Good. So, we're blocking. My guy would die. Before damage, I'm going to sacrifice this to draw 2 cards. You'll see why in a moment. Now, notice they still have some blockers back. So, I'm going to send... Do I want to send in the clowns? Not yet. Let's send in this guy. I do not want to do any of that. I want to send him in just because I am not going to remove anything. I don't care if they trade. Are they going to trade? They're not going to trade. Ooh, this is getting fun. All right, let's send him in because that's obviously why they're holding back the Herald. Yeah, I was like, they have to do something here. So he gets in. And now we're going to punish them because they spent their gold. I don't get the loyalty free card, but I have 10 power coming in. Boom. That was it. Now I know that's fighting the computer. That's not quite the same. Let's try one of the other ones that is simpler. This could be a problem. The Blitz deck could be a problem. I'm just doing a second playthrough to show you that it can take on a good variety of things. So you see here, we have a Winged Death. That's awesome. Plague to clear the board. Good. Free spell. We have the Crystal Golem with Dark Knight. Everything in that, I have answers for most stuff. The only thing I don't have is like an Amnesia sitting around. They're sending away 3. They're going first. Ooh! Ooh! That came in quick. So I'm going to do that trick we talked about. I'm going to go here. Going to block. Before damage. Draw 2 cards, because they came in hot and heavy for 10, which, that's a thing. It really is. Now, they have no other creatures, so I'm going to get that instantly with the Winged Death. Coming down, Dark Knight swings first to see if I draw out any tricks. There we go. Took out the Winged Death because I can. It's going to block. It's going to block. Okay, fine. Now, unfortunately, since I did spend my gold, I can't use my Apprentice to kind of trick them around. I will send this to clear that out because we're both a Zombie Apocalypse style deck. I'm going to attack again. I'm not going to clear out any of my guys. I want them to be forced into this. I could get an extra 2 off that Apprentice, but the reality is I'd rather keep it for loyalty and don't want to make it a liability just yet. So here comes a Pyromancer. Yep, took that one out. Now, right here, they spent their gold. I very clearly, that Pyromancer has to be gone, because that Pyromancer can cause way too many problems. So boom, got our 9 life back. We'll take the 6. Now, if I bounce with the Sea Titan, they can't shoot back with the Medusa to replay. But for right now, let's see how things go. I'm definitely removing that Pyromancer from the discard. They use that to draw too. Well, obviously, like I said, the computer doesn't make always the greatest of plays, but yeah, that was they've used up their gold. So now I could use the Force Mage Apprentice combo, get an extra couple points in. I think that might be one of my more entertaining plays. So I'm going to use Force Mage Apprentice, deal 2 to them, use Sea Titan to prepare the Force Mage first. Not that that really matters. See, I could actually bounce my Force Mage Apprentice and get more out of that. I'm going to bounce their... I'm going to bounce their Medusa. I'm going to make them work for their gold. Just because, in case they want to shoot the Force Mage Apprentice, I want to make sure I actually get my damage out of it. We're ahead by 16 points. Okay, here comes Angel of Death. That was a pretty good play. I'll give him that. I could play Plague, recycle, getting 2 cards out of it. Whatever. I'd rather get 2 cards this way. Now, I will admit, this is definitely not optimum. I drew garbage. I drew absolute garbage on that. We know they have a Medusa. We don't have a way to give the Warrior Golem Blitz. Could I steal any of their guys? I could steal, I could bring back some of my guys, but there's nothing really worth triggering, like a Sea Titan on their turn. So we're just going to pass that over. Having Final Task available is pretty good. Here's Winged Death. We'll let the Winged Death hit us. We're ahead in points enough. Now, we could cycle the Final Task, hopefully trying to draw a little more stuff. Bringing back Winged Death to kill their Winged Death, but then we don't get all the abilities. We're just going to start our turn. That's pretty good. We know they have a Medusa, so we're going to have to bait out that Medusa. Show them to. Now, a human player, I don't know if they'd be so concerned about this, but I guarantee you the computer's probably going to throw down the... Oh, there. I was like, I guarantee the computer always throws down Medusa just whenever you're attacking one guy. Good. There we go. Got it. So recycling spell, recycling spell. Get a card draw out of that. They have no cards in their graveyard. We have a bunch. We're going to spend this right now. Break all champions. Because they have a lot of ones that are unbreakable on their turn. So we're going to get our guys down right now. Gold's been spent on both sides. We'll pass it over. Ooh. Just talking about that in that episode, too. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Can I clear out all their stuff? I could do a Sea Titan. I think I just take the 4. That was such a good play. Basically, I would love for their Rax's Enforcer to die. I think I'm just going to clear their board. So I'm not going to bother with any of the shenanigans. Yeah, I'll clear their board. See if they're going to ambush something. No, they didn't. Angel Death. Don't need to show me anything. Just going to grab 2 cards real easy. Back to my turn. That's what I wanted to see. So, this can make a lot of headaches. Normally, I mean, if you showed someone 2 Time Walkers, they'd be like, well, I don't know how to deal with that. So they have to use that to draw. They're using that to draw cards. Are they going to block? They almost have to. Now, I'm not going to give them a chance to get anything back. That's going to go. I'm going to choose Ancient Chant here and the Plague. This is actually, with the Recycle, this is going to get me 2 cards, which is pretty good, I hear. There we go. Pass the opponent. Not thrilled about taking 4. Is there a creature to bring back? Yeah, I could bring back and force them to sacrifice a guy. They probably would just sacrifice that. I'm not concerned about that. Juggernaut's pretty good. Let's see. I mean, they're going to have to block with that Steel Golem. So if I have the Steel Golem coming in, I'm not wasting any gold yet. He's untargetable. So they got to make some decisions. They're just playing that to block, apparently. So they're blocking now. Bring back a champion. Bring back the Sea Titan. I'm going to return the Medusa to their hand since they spend their gold. That one's gone. I should be able to get out. I mean, they do still have... I don't know why they played a Wither. Both my guys were untargetable. That was very odd. I mean, I could use the Wither to kill their guy. I'm going to save that. That was such a random... it feels like one of those ones where someone's like, oh, I'm going to play this. And you go, yeah, my stuff doesn't fail to that. Passes the clay blockers. There's nothing I have to worry about. I can Wither. It's not going to kill anything. Starting my turn. So as you can see, that was a gold wasted. Now, let's do this. Again, you're going to have to shoot your own guy by playing Wither. I don't know why they're doing that, but they are. I could have a 10-8. I also have a 9-3 with Breakthrough. The Breakthrough, most likely, I mean, I'm going to obviously reveal, because it doesn't matter at all to the computer, just because many of their ambushers have smaller rears. All right, you can see like this. So I'm going to trample over for 7. Ooh, Heinous Feast. That's pretty good. Yeah, they got me on that one. I am going to wither now. So they took the full 9. Back to them. I'm fine with them coming in. Yeah, that's usually the better play. Now let's see how many creatures they have. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many do we have? We only have 2. So playing the zombie apocalypse, not great. So I'm actually going to use that as a draw 2 at the end of their turn. That's what I wanted to see. See, so I can play this. They pay a gold for an ambusher. Oh, I just passed the turn. Ah, it's not what I wanted to do. That was a misclick by me. So that means we're going to draw 2 cards with this thing. That was a stupid misclick. Obviously, make sure you know what you're doing is lesson number 1. That's even better. So, this probably is this is a beautiful setup for us. You're going to see this thing hit in full force, and it's not going to really be that hard of a trick. So whenever a creature dies other than Blood Drinker, they gain life. So if he wants to trade his Blood Drinker, which he has to, something has to block. I'll put it that way. Something has to block. Drew 2 cards. Okay, they put down their guy. That's basically fine. I can simply break all champions. They get nothing. They have no other blocks, and they die to that. Not the way I really wanted to win. I really did want to use that Army of the Apocalypse, but I kind of forced my hand because I played stupid. So those are 2 games with some very odd plays of Wither by the computer. I'd say this is probably a lower learning curve. It's as you saw, there's a little bit of room to recover. You have a lot of fatter creatures. If I was going to make changes, let's bring back up the deck builder just to look at the version I'm running. If I were going to make changes, I probably would look for either more ambush or something else like this Vampire Lord. I mean, he has ambush. He'll probably stay. Winged Death. It has blitz, so when it comes back off Arm of the Apocalypse, it can swing and do stuff. I like Final Task enough, but I don't know. Like this is a deck that's fine. Would I take it to a tournament? I don't know. But anyway, for right now, that's just a look at a good starting point. I'll phrase it that way for a Sage Evil Reanimator style deck. The Warrior Golem has come in so often, so useful in these. Warrior Golem and where is it? Crystal Golem. If you see those 2 together and any evil cards, I would absolutely assume that there is, there you are, an Army of Apocalypse in their deck. Just because they really are fine with dying all the time. They're fine with keeping gas in the tank. So it's not the most brilliant, but the fact that you have Juggernaut followed by Knight of Alara, those are 2 good. And Steel Golems are cuttable, but as you saw, if they don't have an answer, that's pretty good. So we'll sign off there. If I can find, there it is.